So CAN bus can be really tricky to diagnose, and if you follow these 5 steps, it should make it a lot easier. Now, the single biggest thing that I get requests about, other than oscilloscope diagnostics, is CAN bus diagnostics. And there's really quite a running theme. It's either people don't quite understand how CAN bus works, they don't understand the testing methods required to diagnose CAN bus, and in many cases they overlook the basics. So remember to give the video a like if you found it helpful, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more like this. Go and check out the other videos I've got on CAN bus diagnostics. For all the equipment that we use today, you can find the links in the description below. So number 1 then is a function test, and to be able to do a proper function test you need to understand how the network is connected on your vehicle and how it works. So if we check out this network topology here, this is what the network looks like on my BMW E90. So we can see here we've got a number of different colours. So this is the powertrain CAN bus, so this is for your engine electronics, so DME, your fuel pump, transmission, all your powertrain related things. And you can see there that these all come up to the JBE, the junction box, or also known as the gateway. That's the common term for the name of this component. We can also see that there's a blue one coming in here. That's our chassis CAN on this vehicle, and the red one here that's the body CAN. Okay, so that's all your windows, locks, instrument cluster, things like that. So all of these networks, we've got 3 CAN networks on this vehicle. They all speak slightly different languages. That's one way to think of it. And what that gateway does is actually translates the messages between the networks. And a really good example there is wheel speed. So nearly every control unit on the car uses wheel speed. So we can see here that we've got DSC here, and that wheel speed is going to go up along this network to the gateway. The gateway is then going to translate that message into a language that all these networks can understand. And then you can see there that the combi is going to use it for displaying the speed on the instrument cluster. We've got the radio is going to use that information for changing the volume of the sound when we get faster. It's also going to use it for things like navigation. We've also got the body control module. That's going to use it for things like drive-away locking. It's going to use it for controlling the wipers at different speeds and when you stop. Basically goes all over the car, that message. So once you understand how the network operates, you can perform a proper function test. Some of these function tests are actually really simple. If we think about on this car how the turn signal indicators work. So you turn the stalk on the steering column, and that is actually part of this control unit here. And that message then has to get over here to the FRM, the body control module. Now, if there's any problems with this network, then we know that that signal's not going to get there and the turn signals won't operate. Another thing to consider is when you turn the indicator on, you've also got the display in the instrument cluster. So that message has got to go from the body control module to the instrument cluster. And that can only happen if the network is operating. Okay, so the complaint on this car is that there's multiple warning lights on the dash, so ABS, airbag, steering, a few different things like that. We're going to work through this together, and I think you're going to be really surprised at what the problem is and how some problems are really quite overlooked quickly at the beginning. So let's have a look what we've got. Let's turn the ignition on. Okay, wipers on. We've got engine start fault. Okay, I've got my foot on the brake and pressed the start stop button, and that should have started the car now. So let's, okay, so straight away there's kind of alarm bells ringing. That's something not quite right there. And we've got quite a few warnings on the dash there. ABS, steering, airbag kind of related things. So, I'm possibly thinking, something ABS related, possibly a network problem. As I said about the function test, there's quite a few things that we can do quite quickly. We mentioned just turning on the direction indicator, that can quickly check the network. So if we turn that on there, right, okay, so we can see we've got something on the dash there. Let's just check outside. Okay, and that's working there as well. So we've definitely got some network activity going on there. Right, okay, so if we're thinking ABS wise, road speed, things like that, the other thing you'll notice is the wipers are going crazy. So let's just see what we've got for road speed. Okay, so nothing. Okay, so we've got absolutely no road speed either. So okay, we've done a function test there, then we've got some evidence, some function test results, we've got the warning lights on the dash. It's always just important to remember is, you know, think about how this car works and how it operates and what can you turn on and off and manipulate and change to actually work out if the network is doing what it should be doing. If in doubt, just test everything. Write down the results and see if you can make any links between what you've found. Okay, number 2 then. So this is a real big one, full OBD scan. This can rule out any network problems really quite quickly. If you can communicate with a module, the CAN network's probably okay. Unless you're looking at an intermittent fault, then you're going to have to take different kind of testing methods to actually prove that there's a CAN bus fault before you start going to repair a CAN bus fault. Again, it's important to go back to the topology to see how the network operates. If we check out how the network operates on this one, especially with the OBD connector, we've got an OBD connector here straight into the gateway. On some vehicles, all of the CAN networks actually end up at the OBD plug, and you can actually measure them all right there. It's really quite useful. You can see these breakout boxes that are available. You just plug it in and you can, you know, test each network. However, that's not possible on this car. We've only got one CAN network down at the OBD plug, and that is DCAN, so diagnostic CAN. So if we can plug into the OBD and speak to every module on that network, then we know it's okay. Let's go and see what we've got. Okay, so we're connected up here. I've got my Ansel FX9000. This is a pretty cheap scan tool, this is, and I'm actually pretty impressed with how it performs. You can see there we've got a automatic VIN scan there quite quickly, so that's also good news. It's just communicating now then, and it's going to be checking for what modules we've got. Okay, so there we're just going through the scan now. It's actually pretty quick, this tool is. You can see there it's got quite a few faults on there, and actually quite a few things that have got no faults in. Key thing is, look, we've communicated with quite a few modules there. So let's have a look at what faults we've got in here then. So car access system, we've got implausible selector lever fault, road speed, so that's possibly something we're looking at there. We know we've got a road speed issue. Input brake lights as well, so that's also ABS related. So engine control module, then we've got quite a few no message problems in there. So it looks like the transmitter is DSC, it's missing a message from the DSC. We've also got road speed, another no message there from steering column, road speed signal. Transmission is also message from DSC, steering angle, so a lot of messages in there. Here we are, so for the airbag light we've got no message for vehicle speed. Footwell module, so that's our body control module in this car. We've got brake lights, no message. Driving speed, that might be why the wipers are going full blast. So one thing we might want to do then is actually go and check the ABS. So let's just look for the ABS control module in this list. Okay, it's not looking good. Right, doesn't look like we've got ABS control module here. So that's something that you've got to be really careful with some of these scan tools, is they won't actually recognize that a car's got a control unit that should be there, but it hasn't responded. So what we would really like the scan tool to do is say, hey, ABS should be there, but it's not responding. This is something you should look at. Whereas what we've got here is just a list of everything that has responded and the fault codes associated. But what we should be able to take from this is that, you know, the CAN bus network itself is probably okay on this car. So we can see there then the ABS isn't communicating on this car. If you've ever got any modules not communicating, the very first check you should do is the power supplies and the grounds. So check the fuses, check the grounds, and make sure everything's all right there before you start ripping the CAN bus network apart. Okay, so if you've confirmed that you have got a network problem, then you're going to need to start diagnosing it. So step number 3 is just doing some quick checks with the multimeter. We don't need to go out with the scope straight away. There are a few tests that you can actually do with this. Now, one of the most popular ones that people like to do is the resistance check across the can high and can low. So what you're looking for there is a total resistance of 60 ohms. Now, this isn't the be all and end all. It doesn't test the whole network. Really, all you're testing is the two ends. I've got a really popular video on this. Go and check that out, and it goes into depth actual resistance checking of the CAN bus network. The other thing about the resistance check is it only works on a high-speed network. So on this car here, 2 of the networks are high-speed networks. That's the chassis CAN and the powertrain CAN. However, the body CAN is not high-speed network. That is a low-speed network. Okay, the green one here is actually most bus. It's not CAN at all. It's quite different. So if you've got a low-speed network, then that resistance check, looking for the 60 ohms, doesn't work. It's not a valid test for that. However, some of the basic tests we can do, checking whether there's any continuity between ground or power supply, or even still checking whether there's any continuity between the 2 wires. That's a valid check, and it's a good place to start. So what you can also do is actually check the voltage on the wires. So it's a really quick check to just see if you've got a voltage that's in the right kind of area. So for a high-speed CAN bus network, we'd be looking around 2.6 volts on CAN high and about 2.4 volts on CAN low. However, this does really depend on the amount of modules and network activity you've got on the car. So the more modules and the more activity you've got, the voltage that you read might be slightly higher, and it'll be actually slightly lower on CAN low. Because low speed CAN works on different voltages, when you're using the voltmeter to measure those networks, the reading is going to be slightly different. So you'll be looking for something like 4.3, 4.4 on CAN high and around about 0.5, 0.6 on CAN low. If the voltages you read in there are both exactly the same, then you could have a short together. Should have been confirmed by your resistance check. If you've got both voltages down at 0 volts, that might indicate a short to ground, which would also have been picked up on your resistance check. If you've got some voltages that don't look quite right, then what you could be looking at there is an open circuit or maybe a resistive short circuit. Right, if you're anything like me, usually miss out step 3 and go straight to the oscilloscope, because it can tell you so much more about what's happening on the network. So step 4 is get the oscilloscope out. So I like to use this Picoscope 2204A. It's really cheap and it does a great job at picking up the CAN bus network on any vehicle, and it can be picked up for as little as $100. So this will tell you exactly what's happening on the CAN bus network. We'll be able to see short to ground, short to positive, short together. We'll be able to tell if it's open circuit, and we'll also be able to use it to help identify intermittent faults. It'll also help us pick up resistive faults, so resistive short circuits or just resistance in connectors. So let's take a look at what we've got on this car. I will save these waveforms and you can access them to have a play with yourself. So hit the link in the description and I'll send you the link to the waveform library where you can access all the waveforms that I create on the videos in my channel. Okay, so I'm connected in on the gateway on this car then, and you can see here on the screen that we've got our CAN bus message. Okay, so this message is on the low speed CAN network, so quite different from what we're going to see on the high speed network. We can see that CAN high in the blue starts low and then the voltage goes up. That's what makes it CAN high. And then on the red there we've got CAN low, so the voltage starts high and goes down. So this is what a good message looks like on low speed CAN. And now let's connect up and see what high speed CAN looks like. Okay, now we can see that we've got a high speed CAN network message on the screen there. So as we can see, it's quite different. Rather than the voltage going and crossing over each other from CAN high and CAN low, they actually start in the middle and go out away from each other. So it's also a bit more squashed up because this is faster. So what we'd have to do is reduce the time setting a bit to see that message a bit clearer. So there we are. So there we go, and that's our good high speed CAN message. I've got 2 videos on checking high speed networks and low speed networks. Again, go and check them out for more detailed information of how to actually analyze these waveforms. Okay, so now we're on to step 5. So you've actually connected up the oscilloscope and you've confirmed that you have indeed got a CAN bus fault, whether it's a short circuit, open circuit. What we're actually going to need to do now is actually diagnose and find the problem, which brings us on to step 5, which is the diagnosis process for CAN bus. And really it's quite simple with CAN bus. It's merely a process of elimination. So firstly, you should go back to your evidence. So, you know, have there been any previous jobs done on the car? Has there been any accident damage? You know, what other work's been done? You know, to actually help you localize where to start diagnosing. Otherwise, you might have to just test from one end of the car to the other. Of course, accessing the most easiest things first. So first, what you're going to want to do is disconnect the modules until you get communication again on the CAN bus network. So this is probably the easiest thing to do. I know some modules might be difficult to get to, but if you do this and there's still a problem, that's when it starts to get a bit more difficult. So the second thing you're going to have to do then is actually start finding the connectors in the wiring loom. So maybe finding the halfway point in the network, going to the connector and actually disconnecting it and seeing if the fault is in the wiring on one side of the car or the other. If you haven't got any connectors, then unfortunately I think you're going to have to start cutting wires and possibly repairing them after. There's quite a lot of node joints and splices that some manufacturers like to use on vehicles, and they can be quite difficult to find sometimes. So again, try and find out what the common problems are for the vehicle that you're working on. So what was the problem on this car that was causing all that havoc with the wipers and the speed and the warning lights? It was actually just the fuse for the ABS. All I did is remove the 5 amp fuse for the ABS, and that caused all of those problems there. So I think the number one message for CAN bus diagnostics is always check your basics first.